This message is being broadcast at the request of the NOAA Space Weather Center and NASA. A geomagnetic storm bulletin is being put in effect due to major CME, or coronal mass ejection, that could cause major solar flares, up to G4 predicted at this time, that may result in blackouts and other technological malfunctions. At this time, no action is necessary, but be advised of other watches and warnings issued by the NOAA Space Weather Center. Repeating, the NOAA Space Weather Center has issued a geomagnetic storm bulletin. This message is being broadcast at the request of the NOAA Space Weather Center and NWS Austin. A geomagnetic storm watch is being put in effect due to major and severe activity in the sun's outer layers. At this time, your best course of action is to protect sensitive electronics in the event of a solar flare, and find non-electric backups to household devices in case power remains out for several days. A solar flare is the sudden and violent release of particles and radiation from a coronal mass ejection. Depending on the severity of the solar flare, it may have very minor effects, such as loss of radio signals in some areas, or brighten northern lights. More severe effects, such as the ones possible from this solar storm, include destroying sensitive electronics, destroying satellites, and shutting down entire power grids. Stay tuned for more information on this ever-changing threat. Repeating, the NOAA Space Center has issued a geomagnetic storm watch. This message is being broadcast at the request of the NOAA Space Center and NWS Austin. A geomagnetic storm warning has been issued. This means that conditions in the sun's atmosphere have worsened to severe limits. At this time, the exact impacts are unknown. While the sun is outputting large amounts of radiation, relative to normal, it is unknown how much will reach Earth. The main concern now is solar flares. To protect against solar flares, protect sensitive electronics. This may mean turning them off, or taking more advanced safety precautions. You will also want to find non-electronic counterparts to things you use daily. This is because power may be out for days, and the solar flare may destroy exposed electronics. The last step is to find ways to contact loved ones and emergency services if needed. Take these precautions immediately to protect yourself and others in the event of a solar flare. Repeating, a geomagnetic storm warning has been issued. This message is being broadcast at the request of civil authorities. This is not a test. A massive solar flare has been reported due to an unprecedented coronal mass ejection. This means a solar flare is imminent. Time to impact is predicted at 1 minute 30 seconds. Take cover now. Get inside. Protect electronics. Effects of this solar flare may include complete destruction of most satellites in the path of the solar flare, dangerous amounts of acute radiation intake if outside or in an airplane, complete destruction of sensitive electronics, loss of all radio communication for a time including phone, CB radio, TV, broadcast radio, ham radio, and anything UHF, VHF, and HF. Due to this, emergency services may be rendered useless for a time while backup systems are brought online, and while search and rescue begins. Do not get in a vehicle as this may lose control or power at any point. If you are in a tall building, do not use an elevator as these may lose function with the impending solar flare. Try to avoid being outside until experts confirm it is safe to do so. The solar flare is predicted to impact the Austin area and surrounding areas in the state. Other solar flares are being reported around the U.S., so FEMA is on standby ready to respond as soon as it is safe to do so. Any off-duty emergency responders are urged to report into their home base as soon as it is safe to do so to help with the influx of emergencies. Ham radio operators and their EAS members are being urged to check into emergency nets when possible to prepare for full disaster response. When the solar flare hits, the station will repeat broadcasts until a signal can be sent out. Repeating a solar flare warning has been This message is being broadcast at the request of civil authorities. A massive solar flare has hit Austin. The scale of this solar flare is unprecedented. While small UHF and VHF signals such as this one are able to get through the noise, citizens are urged to not call 911 unless absolutely necessary, as up to 80% of 911 equipment has been destroyed. Citizens are also asked to avoid general calls as cellular networks are one of the hardest hit infrastructures. Oncor is working to restore power but is struggling with the amount of destroyed equipment and blown fuses throughout the grid. It may be days before power is restored. Stay tuned to the media and news in any way you can to get the latest information. Repeating, a civil danger warning has been issued for the Austin area. This message is being broadcast at the request of civil authorities. A 911 telephone outage emergency has been issued due to mass 911 calls, loss of telephone equipment, and lack of operators. The solar flare that hit Austin at 4:02 p.m. destroyed the equipment that 911 uses to interface with cellular networks, and 2 out of the 4 call centers have been rendered useless. CAD, computer-assisted dispatch, is offline in all call centers, making it harder for 911 operators to dispatch police and fire. The best course of action as of now is to stay home, to stay safe, to avoid making 911 calls, to keep call volume down, using alternate methods of contacting 911 such as the hashtag 911 Austin, and using a hardwired phone if available. More information on 911 services to come in the next few hours. Repeating, a 911 telephone outage has been issued.
Thanks for tuning into the 12 o'clock hour of KCNC. The current time is 12:33 a.m. At this time, the effects of the solar flare are still prominent across the greater Austin area. Oncor has reportedly restored power to 15 to 20% of customers. Austin FD has reported battling numerous fires across the Austin area. While the exact causes are unknown, it is believed massive power surges blew out fuses and caused arcing electricity that sparked the fires. In other news, at community centers and schools, makeshift camps are being set up with power and food, so people can get shelter and food while power is restored. We have committed to being on the air 24/7 until this emergency has been resolved.
Welcome to the 6 o'clock KCNC Nightly News. The current time is 6 p.m. Fires still rage throughout downtown Austin. Austin FD Chief Joel Baker made a statement saying, "While we are committed to protecting the people of Austin, our resources are spread too thin to get to every call. We are working to call in reinforcements from surrounding fire departments, but dead cars and other debris has made this difficult. We will continue to make our way to any emergencies we can," a FEMA representative said in a comment. "This tragedy's death toll won't be measured in tens, it will be measured in hundreds or thousands. At this time, while some effects are being overturned, it will be a long time until Austin returns to normal. We must be strong, for those we lost, but most importantly, those we can still help."